Hi, welcome to my first video on using Windows Movie Maker. Pardon me. The first thing you want to do with this program is make sure that you have all your files in the same sort of location, I would say, and that you don't move them during the when you're building your project, because the way that this program works is to continue to access that same location. So what I've done, I've just put my files into one spot under Pictures. It's in this this folder here, and so I've got my all my pictures here, plus my 3 audio files that I'll be working with once I open up the software. I'm going to open up the software now, and you should be able to find it on yours as well. I'm just going to type in Movie Maker. Maybe I should have just had Movie Maker by itself without the windows. My apologies. And there it is there. Windows 7 and Windows 8 I think automatically has it installed, and you should be able to find it. But if you can't find it and you don't have it for whatever reason, you can always download it. It is open source, and it's free software that you can use. So just go onto the internet and type in free download Movie Maker, and you will find it. So what I'm going to do now is just tell you about the space here. First of all, this space here will give you sort of a preview of your videos and your photos and your audio, and this is what I call the timeline, so the time of the movie. And this, of course, will give you a preview of what the movie is going to look like. So what I want to do with this one first is bring in some pictures to start with, and I'll do that by clicking on this button here, Add Video and Photos, and then I'll make sure I'm in the right folder, which I am, and this will add all these pictures here. So I'm just going to hit Control A, and that will select them all, I think, hopefully. There they go, and hit Open, and you'll see that those pictures get added. What I'm also going to do is just adjust the view a little bit, because I can't quite see all my pictures, so I'm going to go to here and change the size. Oh, it's actually as small as it can get, so maybe it's because my pictures are so long. So I'll just zoom out a little bit using this slider here. So now I can see all of my pictures and the order that they're in. And so the first thing that I want to do is show you how to sort of work with some of the photos to start with. So if you want to move, for example, this photo to the beginning, you just select it by left clicking, and then you hold down that button, and you can just drag it up into that spot. And what you'll notice is there's this sort of black line here that we use as a guide. So if I wanted to change the location of this picture, I could just drag it down, and you'll see that black line between these two baby pictures here, and I'll let go, and of course you'll see that it drops it right between the two. So use that black line as a guide to move them around, and then you can move things all over the place if you like, and sort of adjust things to however you want it. You'll also notice, of course, that there are actually duplicate pictures here, and the way that you can get rid of that is just by right-clicking on the picture and remove it. And of course that will remove one of those pictures. You can do that with any that you like, and see how they display and see how it works out. If you click up to the top here, you'll notice this is the start of the movie. This is the order that the slides or the pictures come in. These are all still pictures, so they're all sort of lined up one after the other. And you'll notice here's the preview pane of the movie itself. This is the location that you're currently sitting in, and this is the total amount of time that the movie is. So if I click my black, I drag my black line over here, you'll notice that now I'm at the 1:50 mark, and that's right there. And so the total movie in this case now is 4 minutes and 47 seconds. And you can drag that back up, and you can play it, of course, and it will just play through the movie. And once it gets to the next picture with that black line, it will just change spots, of course. And I won't go through all that because it will take a long time, almost 5 minutes. But I'll just show you how that works. Now what you can do is actually, I prefer to have these pictures up for less time. So when you hold the mouse over top of one of these pictures, you'll see some information pop pops up, including the duration of the picture. Duration means the amount of time that those pictures are going to be viewed. And I prefer to have them at 3 or 4 seconds, something like that. 7 seconds for me is too long. So if I click on this picture, or let's do this one for now, and I go up to the edit, and I change the duration to 4 seconds. You'll notice that when I hover over top of this one, it will say 7 seconds duration, and when you hover over top of that one, it will say 4 seconds. So you can actually apply it to all if you like. If you have it selected like that, you could just hit Control A, and that will select all of those particular slides, and you can just change the duration here to 4 seconds, and now they're all set to 4 seconds, as you'll see when you hover over top of any of them. The other thing that you might want to do is sort of play with what's called the animations. And the animations, if you select the slide, let's start with the second one here just so you can see what I'm doing. Hit animations, and then you can hit excuse me, what's called transitions. And transitions are the between the two slides. So for example, if I choose this one, what you'll notice is that there's a little triangle that comes up here, which means that this slide now has a transition to it. And you'll see on that list there that it says transition is called filled V down, and that's the one that we chose up here. So when you play this this video, you'll notice between the first and the second picture there will be now a transition, and of course between the second and third, well, no transition because we haven't set a transition yet. So you can do that with any of the slides. Just click on the slide, go up to animations and transition, and then look at any of these transitions that you like, and you'll see there's all sorts of different options. And these will, if you hover over top of it, will give you a preview of what it's going to look like. So if we selected that one, and you'll see that now we've got a triangle on this one here, and a triangle, little sort of blurred out triangle here and here. That means this picture and this picture both have transitions, and transitions are between the two pictures. The other thing we could do is change the visual effect if we like. So if we pick, let's say, this picture for now, and we go over to visual effects, you can choose from this list here of all sorts of visual effects if you like. If you just this one seems to mirror or flip it over. This one seems to add some sort of grayed out spot. This one, I don't know what these all do, but you might want to play with them and see what they do. This one, of course, is going to make it black and white. This one's going to make it more blue. This one's going to make it sort of orangey. This one's going to change the color completely. So these are all visual effects that you can do if you like. And if you clicked on it, of course, now that slide has got that visual effect to it, and you'll see this tiny little thing up here that shows us the visual effect. So when I play the movie between this slide and the next slide, now you'll see that it's got that different effect to it, which is kind of neat in this case. So that's how you can move things around. Of course, when you move the slide itself, of course it brings along the transition or the visual effect as well. Now what I want to do is add a bit of sound to it. So if I go back to the home and I go add music, they should actually call it add audio because it's not always music. I'm going to add this one, and holding the control key down, and this one. I'm going to add two at the same time. And when you give it a minute, you'll see that now it's added this song here that goes all the way to this end here, and then the new song starts right here. And so there's some adjustments I want to make. First of all, I don't like all this sort of dead space here with no sound at all. So what you can do is bring your black line down here to that spot, and you can, if you go to music options and you click on set endpoint, actually what you can do here is move it just a touch and right click. Oh, let me try that again. should work now, hopefully. Yeah, so what I can do now is, if in that at that very spot there, I can set the end point, so I'm going to get rid of this little bit here. So if I right click, or use it up here if you like, right click, set end point, you'll see that it gets rid of that chunk there. And then also with the second song, you'll see that there's a bit of dead space or no music here as well. Just drag this spot over. Oops, sorry, drag the black line over there, and you can right click. And for this one, you want to set the start point right there. And of course, that will start the song without that sound. The other thing with audio too is that you want, in the case of this one for sure, is the song isn't finished yet, actually. So you'd probably want to fade it out. So if you select whatever audio you're working on by left clicking, and you can see how there's that black line around it, that means it's selected. You can choose to fade in and fade out. Now the fade out is at the end of the song, and the fade in is at the beginning of the song, and it's kind of a nice feature to add. So if you fade out, say medium, and fade in medium, well, that will mean that when that song plays, at the beginning it will slowly kind of come on for sound, and at the end it will slowly fizzle out. And I would do that with both audio as well. So this first audio too, you can put fade in medium and fade out medium as well, or fast or slow, whatever you like, whatever you prefer. And that will sort of allow you to go from one song to the next song, and you'll see how it sort of works. If you go to the beginning and you start your movie, you'll get a sense of sort of how it's playing. For some reason, this video that I'm using, or this software that I'm using for this video right now, doesn't allow me to play the sound as well, but you'll be able to hear the sound when you play it. I think it should work fine. So it's sort of going through. And so what I would do is I would go through and set a transition for every slide. I would make sure that the music sort of fits really well to each slide, if you can, and I would sort of make those adjustments and see how it goes. I think I'll leave it at that for now, and I'll let you play with it for a bit. Good luck, and I hope you found this video at least a little bit useful.